Here are 2 great tips for saving money for your next painting project. Hi, my name is Rémi Boudreau, licensed painter, color consultant, and owner of Expressions Painting. My mission is to help people leverage the power of color. I've said this many times in my video. I truly believe color impacts us greatly. So I want to help people get to colors that really help them in their lives. But to get to those colors, budget often stands in the way, right? We all have different budgets, that's the reality. So in today's video, I want to offer you 2 great tips to really help you reduce the cost of bringing about those new colors. The number 1 would be to focus mainly on the walls. Now, a lot of painters and people may believe that you can't really do that, especially if some of the previous paint jobs may have had some paint overlap on the trims or a little bit on the walls, ceilings. You often see this. But the thing is that even though there might be a little bit of paint on the sides of the trims, it doesn't necessarily mean that the whole trim needs to be done. In those cases, we often get away with just painting the edges, the sides of the trims. Another area is the baseboards. A lot of times the baseboards get beat up quicker than the frames and the doors, or the ceilings for that matter. So we can also get away with just painting the baseboards and possibly the sides of the frames. That reduces drastically the costs, and then you can focus more on painting as much walls as you can throughout your house. So that's the main one. The second one, let's say the trims and doors really need painting. Well, a lot of our clients right now are loving the option that we give them where they can paint those themselves before we get there. So that means that it becomes extremely easier, much easier, because they do not have to worry about putting paint on the walls. They can paint the frame, overlap nicely and spread it out nicely on the walls. Then right after, we come in and do the straight lines from the walls, covering any leftover paint that was on the walls from the trims. Ceilings, if the ceilings do need to be done, that is one area that I would not recommend do-it-yourselfers to do if they are trying to cut costs, because I've seen it more often than not where it's the opposite that ends up happening. A ceiling is not the easiest thing to paint, and a lot of times if do-it-yourselfers tend to do it, it tends to leave uneven textures, which becomes a lot harder to fix, and then they find themselves having to disperse more money in hiring professionals to rectify that. So ceilings, I would never recommend. Leave that in the hands of the professionals. Same idea as the straight cutting from the walls. But the 2 options, maybe those trims and ceilings don't need to be painted, or if they do, it might just be the edges. Or number 2, if they do, maybe you can look at considering doing those yourselves. I've seen many times our clients are loving those options, and a lot of cases what I find is when they're painting the trims themselves, they even tend to have that much more sense of pride in the end result because they feel invested in it. They can say, yeah, I painted those trims, yeah, you know. And the thing is, when it's all said and done, it looks like a professional did it from start to finish. So it's a pretty good bragging story for friends who come over, right? So hopefully you got value in today's video. I would encourage you, if you're watching on Facebook, to subscribe to our fan page. If you're watching on YouTube, maybe subscribe to our channel, so that way you can get in touch with the upcoming videos. I currently am releasing videos weekly. Another option, if you want, is to go on my website, expressionspainting.com, and subscribe to my tips and tricks newsletter, which I send every week with the week's featured video. So if you're in that place where you want to change those colors, I will help you change your life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.